Okay, welcome everybody. So this is our second edition of Mindful Mondays in regards to this Hunter Art Lab effort. And once again, it's Monday and I'm dealing with allergies. But I also have that echo. That echo is back. All right, let me see how to fix that. I thought I had a fix for it. Oh, I know. All right, is it working? Nope, still damn echoing. What the hell? Oh, all right. Okay. Yep. Echo gone. All right. Sweet. You couldn't hear the echo, but I could hear the echo, and it's driving me nuts. All right. Thought we would have some background music playing here, but that hasn't happened yet as somebody moved my earbuds. And so I've been spending all morning trying to find those. And then the other pair I had didn't work because it wanted a PIN number for earbuds. What's going on with that? I don't know. Maybe it's a security issue, but not helping. All right, so let's see about sharing the link to this broadcast out to others. Apparently, I was doing it wrong and I was sharing the invite to the actual show, which is not the case. There will be a time when I actually have people that are on for interviews and things of that nature, but not yet. Not yet. So now I've got to share the link to the places that don't get the automatic feed. Like Facebook gets the automatic feed, YouTube gets the automatic feed, Twitch gets the automatic feed. But like Twitter, for example, won't get the automatic feed. Not that anyone really cares, but on Twitter, I think I'm a low priority when it comes to Twitter. So let's go ahead and close out these messages. Messages. Okay, I totally said that wrong. All right. Now, someday I'll have this all figured out to where you don't have to see me fiddling around with things. I hope. And Twitch is still relatively new to me, so like just trying to find the share option instead of sending my StreamYard link. Oh, I think it's dashboard. Let's go to the channel. Okay, please tell me this is share. So we got that echo coming in. Let me go ahead and close that out. All right, I think I got it. Now, Facebook closed down for some reason, it crashed. So I have no idea if Facebook is even getting this feed right now. Damn, a little piece of nail just hung off and cut my forehead. Let me do a quick manicure thingy here. Manicure Mondays. That's what we're going to change this show to. All right, let's see. What's up with Facebook? All right, I think we're on Facebook, so we're just going to roll with it and go ahead and get back to the show. Once again, I apologize for the heavy breathing. Asthma, allergies, not a good combination, and out of shapeness doesn't work either. So feel free to holler in the chat if you are there. That way I know. Well, I know because there's like eyeballs icons in the corner, but you know what I mean. Okay, let's get this going. I'm gonna take my inhaler out. It's been that kind of day. All right, so first the news. Recent events. Just got off of a weekend of doing Gem City Comic Con in Dayton, Ohio, and I know it was also a huge weekend for San Diego Comic Con out there in California, San Diego. So I know a lot of my friends and peers and mentors were out there in San Diego doing lots of panels and also winning awards. Congratulations to David Walker on your Eisner Award. Congratulations to John Jennings running like what 6 panels Saturday and Sunday, 12 panels, something of that nature. I always know that John's schedule was slammed back to back, and he was out there not just facilitating other dialogue and talk about diverse, creators and working in the comics medium and just getting different voices of inclusion, as well as also talking about his imprint Megascope at Abrams. So if you've not checked out the Megascope books, you really need to check those out. All right, so I love the idea of just what John Jennings is doing. Um, let's see what else. Michael Davis had the 25th Black panel, I think, is what's happening. What happened out there? I haven't heard how it went, but knowing Michael Davis, I mean, I bet you it was damn authentic. So that's awesome. And then congratulations to Stanford Carpenter. I know you also did some moderating and some panel work out there. And to Teresa Rojas, so Teresa is someone whom, and Caitlin, so Kate or Katie Sweeney is somebody that we, along with Barbara Dillon, Fanbase Press, also all three of them I work with on the LCAF advisory panel to make sure that LCAF brings you a special show and event in Modesto, California. So it's in the line of shows like SoulCon and other shows that are just not just culture, celebrating the culture, but also celebrating the art, comics, and the academia, and what we can do as just educators and people in our community to try and build that community and to try and make things make sense in a world that doesn't necessarily want to accept marginalized people of all groups as equals. Or maybe the world does, and then there's just a few select pockets that in systems still built in place that are archaic and do not want to facilitate, an equal playing field for a lot of different groups. We have a lot of things that are being thrown through the court systems or just being stomped on by the court systems. And yes, if you are wondering why is he talking politics, I'm not Comicsgate. I'm actually in the real world here, and I actually have to deal with stuff that's here, as well as my family, as well as my friends, as well as my community, and as well as many, many other people. So yes, I will definitely take some of my time and platform to advocate for those things in relation to dealing and navigating with ADHD, neurodivergency, another marginalized group as far as I'm concerned, that does not get its due or its equitable treatment in a neurotypical world. So it all to me is related. It is integrated, and so yes, I will celebrate those people that are friends of mine, peers of mine, going out to San Diego in the medium that I love so much. Okay, of comics and sequential art, and also spreading that word, and also bringing the joy of their creations and that work. Because when you discover other cultures, other worlds, not just universes that are created, but also literally stuff that has its roots within our society. I hit the camera within our, um, legacy, that too is gonna bring joy and bring an awareness and an openness that you will be able to discover. As much as I love Jack Kirby, you don't have to always go to a Kirby comic. Well, let's face it, we always should go to Jack Kirby comic because I mean that's solid stuff. But you don't always have to go to like what is considered just mainstream, isolated, popular superhero fantasy only. Comics is a wide spectrum of stories, art, and experiences. Your experience, matters as well, and your experience can be told in a sequential form, or telling stories as minimal as a stick figure, or just words on paper arranged with nice sizes, differences, things of that, using graphic design principles. Or maybe you just get out the watercolor or just paint and have fun with color, then slap some poetry on that. Okay. And then a few images or a few doodles. I mean, that is you, and I'm here for it, and I want to see it. So I love it when friends of mine go out there and also like increase the reach of awareness of what comics and our genre and our medium can truly achieve and be. So, and that's not to say that I don't like the superhero stuff like that. I love the superhero stuff. I have it tattooed on me. I named my kid Logan Xavier. Come on, all right. So, alternative comics, indie comics, mindful comics, comics that are like related to graphic medicine, things that are bringing awareness to various people's illnesses and things that they have to deal with, is a real thing, and it's here. And so I would love to be able to help shine a light on that, or just maybe discover it with you as I'm discovering these kinds of things, these mediums, these advances, and the reach of this beautiful medium that we have. I would love for you to join me and discover it at the same time. So we both can go, whoa, what's that about? So that's pretty much what the Hunter Art Lab is about. Hunter Art Lab is about experimenting, taking on new things, discovering old things, maybe going back to basics to try and shore up some holes in our game, or just discovery of art creating and just breakthroughs, whether it be mentally, emotionally, physically, or on the page or on the canvas. So that's pretty much my goal, is to just facilitate an introduction to art and awareness, and advocate for art, mental health, and emotional empathy, social justice, things of that nature, things that move all of us forward and bring us closer together, but also give us some peace of friggin' mind. All right, because it feels like there's a lot of machines at play when that want you to be a cog in the system and don't want you to have peace of mind or quality of life. And so I'm here to say that that's BS. And I'm not alone. I'm not even a great emissary or advocate for this type of stuff. I'm just a person who got sick of it and is like, you know what? That's messed up. That don't seem right. I don't think that's how it's supposed to work. I know you want it to work that way to make your money, but my gut says that this just feels not like the purpose that I'm supposed to be here for. And if you've ever felt that, then you know what? I think we're on the same wavelength, and I hope we can sit there and explore that through the various mediums of art and drawing and creating, and just like, once again, kind of educating ourselves as we go on this journey. All right, I am off my soapbox. I'm gonna take a swig of this coffee here because it's kind of also waking up for me. But it was really nice to see a lot of people at Gem City Comic Con as well. And anytime I could do a show in Ohio, um, it's really nice to see like my community and just like friends and people that I may not get to see as often, because here in Columbus and the surrounding cities, that's sometimes the only time we get to see each other is when we do a show, even though we're all kind of within proximity of each other. So I would love to get a community thing happening here where people are actually like checking out other people, not just when it shows, like maybe like there's more crossover happening, because when you have a a an immersion of creativity and you're bouncing off of other people, vibing off of other people, or seeing what someone else does and talking to and all that, I mean, things happen. Great things can happen. So I'd love to see that community get even more sewed up as far as those little gaps and connective tissue. I want to see more connective tissue happening. And so as long as I'm in this area, I'm going to attempt to try and facilitate that, or help other people who are maybe more better at logistics than I am facilitate that. Now, if that ends up not happening over a long term, then maybe I will get rich and move back to Cali. I don't know. But damn, I gotta quit doing that. So there's a very little cramped space here. My workspace is actually downstairs. But if you know anything of what I've been going through and what a lot of people who are neurodiverse go through in ADHD, then you know that areas can pretty much get congested really quick. Clutter is a real issue, and it's not as easy for us to just get rid of it or just do it, as the Nike saying goes. Because I really hate that saying. It's really a pet peeve of mine. So there are levels to trying to peel back those layers and move forward. And part of the issues that we have as people that deal with this type of wiring. I don't know if it's an illness or a disease. I'll just call it wiring for lack of a better education because I'm still learning about this. And still learning about myself. But it's almost sometimes like we're in a bubble, like there's an invisible force field that we can't penetrate to let us move forward to complete simple tasks, and that's an executive dysfunction that we deal with, and sometimes and it creates depression. So then you're doubled down on the lockdown, basically, and it's really really hard to break out of, or even walk out the house sometimes, or jump in the shower and or do the dishes, just minimal things. So another reason why I've started this channel and wanting to do this is not just to advocate for these type of things, but also just to have a piece of structure, a framing, if you will, to where I'm broadcasting or just talking with you about 3 to 4 days a week, and not always about the ADHD thing. There'll be other things where we're just workshopping comics, and I'm just working on whatever projects I have or commissions, or just creating art, or just talking to other people about their art or maybe their background, and giving you a lens to other people's experiences. So that's another reason why I created this platform. I didn't create Twitch or YouTube or Facebook. If I did, I probably would be a soulless a-hole and not actually talking to you about this type of stuff. No, what I did was basically wanted to create this channel, this 100 lab concept, so that way I had also a framing, so that way I can actually get things done at least a few hours a day for a couple days a week, and then have some peace of mind to be like, you know what, I feel like I can go and really help around the house and contribute and go do dishes. I feel like, oh, maybe I can sit there now and go and I don't know, get that other commission that's been sitting on my desk that I've been afraid to do because I already got something accomplished today by live streaming and working on projects. So yeah, I have to basically Jedi mind trick myself to get things happening. So if anyone is listening there and you have the public link to the show, please let me know because again, I didn't realize until 5 minutes ago that I was sharing the wrong link. I basically was inviting a bunch of people to come on my show, and that would have been really weird and awkward, and I would have known what to do because I didn't do any prep work. I'm not Batman. All right. So once again, I'm still trying to find where the heck do you um where the heck do you find the share option? And so I apologize for the dead space. This is why they took one reason why today's show is called "The Day the Music Died" because oh that sucks. Oh, there's the music. That was just ironic, wasn't it? I'm on the day the music died, and all of a sudden I get an echo reverb of a bunch of music playing from somebody else. I hope I don't get copyright tagged on that one because I didn't know. I don't know what I'm doing, which is often the case. Again, I just want a share link. Give me a share link. Help me help you bring people to me while we're watching you on this platform. Hmm. Yeah, this is awkward. I was on a roll there too, man. I felt like I had the flow, and now I don't know where to go to find this link. So this is awkward. Stream manager. Does stream manager give you a share link? Oh, about to be some echo. Just okay. No, it's on mute. Cool. Okay. All right. Quick action. Yeah. You know what? I think Twitter's just gonna have to get by without me today because I don't know where the share link is at, and so I also wanted to share it in a bunch of discords. So, just because there's like some like-minded people in there, and that would have been fun to be able to do. But again, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. So, all right, let me see if I can do this. Go back to the channel, go back to home. Oh, there's a scroll button. Nope, it's not there. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give up on this. It's frustrating because there's always something going wrong, but at the same time, on the positive side, there's always like sometimes 1% things going right. And as I figure that out, we do get better at doing this and get a little more learned at doing this. But sometimes there are setbacks where it's like, okay, one step forward, two steps back, and I have arthritis, so I don't dance. Yeah. So I'm live, it says. Okay, cool. I know I'm live. I just wanted to share it. All right, I'm giving up on this. We're closing this tab out. We're getting back to you, the one person that's here, faithful. All right. All right. So, anyways, yeah. So I gave you this huge monologue about what the show's about, what the purpose is over here. That's gonna make for some decent editing later on to maybe try and do a better intro on my other channel. But let's go ahead and get to the art. That's what you came here for, right? Okay. So we'll start with this little thing. When last we worked on Mondays, we created this tangle and doodle. And at first, it was pretty rough. It was rough going, right? I mean, like I didn't know where it was going, and then I kind of settled in on the theme, utilizing the red color pencil, the Coloris Prismacolor, as well as then the graphite pencil, and that created a nice fill background. And the whole concept was to do things that started with A for the most part. I cheated a little bit, but we still got there with it, and I actually kind of like it how it came out. So much to the point where I made it my little avatar on my Instagram, and I still haven't figured out how to change my name on Instagram, but whatever. So now I think that we can take these ADHD off, and maybe we'll go ahead and our little anxiety arrow here or A here, and maybe we'll try to calm it down by doing a tangle or a little mindful exercise around this. What do you think? I've got this pencil here. Oops, I also got post-its on my pencil. Look at that. Maybe we can sell that as merch. I doubt it. I don't know what you would do with it. So just kind of play around with it. But okay, yeah, back on track. All right, sharpened already. I really like this pencil. For those of you that are into the gear and tech, and not tech, this isn't really tech. This is old school tech. This is a Stadler Norris HB2 pencil made in Germany. Look at these German flag colors, Berlin. But let's go ahead and just mindfully sketch and doodle whatever it is around here. I'm not going to stick with the theme of A. We did that over here already. So what we're going to do is actually go ahead and just come with more pictorial things. Oh my God, you see that pencil shake? Look at that pencil shake. When you wonder, why is the ink so bad? There you go, that's why. So let's go ahead and tilt the page a little bit. And I have a coffee that's blocking me right here, and this stupid little thing right here that I'm gonna have to not give the best review to because I don't like the way it blocks my hand. So I probably will be using it in some other place and put up another clamp here for my other. I'm recording on my phone as well, so I can actually edit video later on. So right now we're just gonna go and try and calm this down. So this is supposed to be like a little stream of consciousness, but it's still looking like static lines to me, unfortunately. And maybe we'll just add that to his plight, or I don't want to say his or her because I don't know. This is supposed to represent this state of anxiety is supposed to represent anyone. So we'll just add it to their plight. All right, maybe I can just get a nice little water. Yeah, one thing I'm gonna really have to norm around here when I do these things is that making sure my space is more comfortable so that I am not messed up when I'm trying to draw or, because what's the point of doing this if I'm gonna or even recording this and doing all this stuff if I'm not gonna have ease and serenity when I'm trying to create this artwork. Okay, so we got a nice little water going here. It looks a little choppy, so I gotta figure out how to calm that down. And then I don't know where the bank would start, but maybe we'll just do it right here. Maybe we could just make the bank right here. A little rock. Just put a rock right here. Maybe a little isolated spot for safety to reach out to. Let's go ahead and get our tree line going. And this is a pretty crude tree line. But I also got to remember the whole point was just to kind of tangle this. So it's like we're trying to do patterning. And so how would we pattern the rock? That'll be fun to try and do. I'll have to figure that out. Oh, I know how I'm going to do that. Let's leave this as a mess right now, just because it's in the foreground and it'll help me distinguish depth of field and knowing that I'm going to mess with this later on, but I also can separate it from the background and the middle ground here. So, okay, let's put some bubbles. Water and foam. Yeah, let's do some foam right here, man. That'd be fun. Wow, it's Monday. Everyone must be like dead tired and jet lagged from Comic Con. There's just nobody here except for I think Bob, and Bob's probably working on some cool stuff right now in the background. So, what up, Bob? Bob Corby, back porch comics space show. Yes, O Comics. So, all right, I got my little tree line. Let's get some foliage going in here. I've been obsessed with the Stranger Things soundtrack, mainly from still season one. I know everyone's all about the new song that what's not new song, it's an old song, but that came back for the new season. But I'm still on that joint of wearing sunglasses inside or something because I really dig that song. It's like Corey Strode or something. I don't know his name. Or is that an artist? I can't. I'm really bad with names. I mix things up all the time. But yeah. So if you happen to tune in once again and you're more stream savvy than I am, please by all means hit me with a share link in the comment section on my own stream so I can share it in some other places. Dang. Or is it this one? Do you use this one? Let me see if this works. Okay. Okay. It is what it is. All right. So got the rock right here. We're gonna do the mountains right here. Sun setting. I don't know what this is over here. Maybe it's plains. Okay, so it's probably hard to see. Let me bring it up to you. Okay, let's get back to it. Anxiety. And it's kind of hard not to tell a story or try to tell a story when I do this just because it's that natural storyteller instinct in me. And, telling stories and doing comics, or maybe that's why I was so into comics because of storytelling. So now that I mentioned that song, now it's stuck in my head. So or he's laying down, stirring or dreaming over there. Let's just do a nice little pattern right here. So up and down. Oh, my elbow. So my bicep tear messes with my elbow and actually shoots pain in it and locks it. Oh, you know what? There we go. Let's just do a nice window. Okay, this is no longer a doodle. Obviously, this is more like a concept. But let's just do a nice window pane. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. I don't want this anymore because I just realized that rain does not have to go up and down. If I was doing a static pattern and static doodle to try and emulate, and not to mention working on just contour line kind of stuff, trying to get a steadier line, then yeah, that'd be cool. But now that we're kind of just embracing the concept of the rain would technically probably be going. We have the street out there. Puddles. Yeah, maybe some bushes, a couple of buildings. Perspective be damned. Actually, there's a perspective book or two I want to grab and actually so I can relearn how to do it because I suck at it. What is that? Fake it till you make it? Okay. Now we're getting back into the pattern. But it looks like it's attacking them, doesn't it? I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to say, like subconsciously, is that you could be seemingly in places that normal people would find tranquil or maybe calming or just no big deal. Go about your day, and you, the person that's dealing with these issues, would still be in a state of anxiety. So that's basically kind of what the story is right here. All right, now we can do some wood paneling here. Just a pattern. Again, we're still going to play with the patterns, but at any rate, how was your weekend? I know it's a big convention weekend for a lot of people. As I mentioned, some people are probably just not even waking up yet because of the jet lag, because they're probably used to 3 hours delay and all that. And conventions in general, even local ones, take a lot out of me. So I can only imagine, a big show like that, what they're feeling. What do I want to do right here? This was a puddle of sweat or what, but now how do I not make it look? We're just gonna darken this because I don't want to make it look like it's a bad puddle of pee or something. I'm not trying to be gross. Not this time. Okay. Okay. You know what? Another thing that we suffer neurodivergence and fibromyalgia patients is brain fog. Brain fog is a real thing. So when you hear me trying to put words together or string along two thoughts, or I completely lose where I was at, um, sometimes it's a bottleneck issue where things are just clogging up because there's too many trying to fight at once, or sometimes it's like I absolutely just went into a brain fog, and I cannot cognitively put things together or finish what I was trying to say or think about what it is I was trying to talk about. And between that and the blood sugar issues I had, like being pre-diabetic yesterday at the end of the show, I thought I had ate enough food and managed it well enough to where I was okay. Then all of a sudden, at the last half hour, it just slammed me. It hit me big time, and I was like, my friend Mason, easily, legend manager creator, was trying to help me out and give me directions to where I needed to go with the car to load my stuff. And well, I already can't do directions in the first place. You start giving me street names and directions, I'm just gonna be like, what? Um, but that was even worse when I was having that kind of low blood sugar attack. I was just like, I cannot cognitively deal right now. So I did make it to the garage with all my gear. Luckily, I was able to. Um, I say luckily I was able to put it all in one cart, but things kept dropping, and because I couldn't get ahead of what was going on with me, stuff fell over. I mean, it was a mess, and it wasn't until I finally got on the road that like things started settling down, and then I was able to drive decently home. Not decently. I don't worry, I wasn't like going crazy or anything on the road, but like once I finally got in the car and started on the thing, I calmed down, and for some reason, my blood sugar just kind of like righted itself. So, again, another diagnosis that I'm trying to navigate and have no idea about, other than what they say to do, is to lose weight. You have to lose weight, otherwise, you're going to become real diabetic. And I'm not getting any younger, and things do affect me a lot harder than they used to. And I don't have the metabolism that I used to have, where I could eat whatever I wanted and I could sit there and treat my body like crap. So that's another thing I'm having to navigate and figure out. But it's really hard not to snack or go for that sweet stuff when you're stuck and don't know what to do, or you're having an issue of indecisiveness. My default is to go eat because I'm like, well, eating's a function, and so I tend to go eat. And so I think it's really related to not just depression, depressive eating, but also the ADHD. Um, and when I can't, have something going on with the focus that I can keep, then I default is to go eat. So what I did today was I actually ate a banana and ate an orange, a little kitty orange, just trying to get 2 to 3 pieces of fruit in my diet every day, and then I want to get 2 to 3 vegetable sources going. Um, so I can start like building a better habit to take care of myself physically. Because what's the point of talking about the mental here on Mondays if we're just gonna treat the rest of the week like crap on our physical self? You know what I mean? Um, Now this is to say that I'm just trying to get back to a healthy weight and to an ideal weight that doesn't allows me the more mobility and ability to have more stamina and be able to create things that I want to create because there's a lot I want to do in life. Um, I'm not about right now like saying that everyone should be at a certain weight. I don't project on everyone else. That is your journey. That is your choice. And your ideal physical form is really up to you and your mental health and what you want to do. So just want to say that before you know there's any thoughts that I might be fat shaming because I'm not. So I keep hearing noises. I don't know if that's outside or if that's the dog. Oh no, it's somebody coming downstairs. So I hope they know I'm live streaming and they don't come down in their underwear because that would be awkward. So, but yeah. So this is supposed to be fog, but right now it's looking like a bunch of plumes of smoke. So how do I make it more foggy? Like I think some curvature and going a little cute on it might make it more fog, like as if it was an infographic. And I think that might get us to where we want to go. Okay. So that means I'm at the darken the line. I didn't really want to darken the line because it's like a harder to erase when I'm gonna ink over it later on. But that's okay. We'll just make it work. It's okay if we make mistakes here on Hunter Art Lab because that's kind of part of the learning process is making mistakes. So that way we can maybe make discoveries and have some triumphs later on. Yeah, okay. Okay, looks like a dust cloud, like a pen cloud, but oh man, I hope people don't think that this egg is like passing gas, and that's why there's I don't know. Let me know if it looks like that. So, should we put some words in here? Hmm. Well, the attempt was to try and create some serenity, but if anything, I think I've only created an elevation of the anxiety and the tension. So I guess we're going to lean into that and pivot there. Maybe one day eventually I can get to the point where I have more finesse or more of a lighter touch with my pencil that creates the aesthetic or the intention that I'm trying for. But right now, that's not going to happen. So, great construction's happening. Uh, Oops, almost stabbed myself right there. All right. I don't think I'm going to rely on text for this one. We're just going to zone out and not try to overthink it anymore. 'Cause we were overthinking it there. Now we're just going to do whatever comes to mind, whether it makes sense or not. Somebody's probably going, that perspective is all wrong. It's like, is the perspective wrong? Or are you just not thinking with the right perspective of what we're trying to accomplish here? Because that's kind of what this is all about right now, is trying to address our perspective, calm it down maybe, or just explore our own perspective where things don't necessarily converge in straight lines or proper axes. That's another thing, access to decent resources that help us navigate this. I feel like are growing, but still very like hidden in a more mystique type of way. Like the mystique is still there. The lack of knowledge is still there. The lack of access is not as general as it is. Healthcare is a mess in the first place, but I mean, when you're dealing with executive function and just trying to get focus and deal with the wiring and get your levels all straight, so that way you can be productive and be able to accomplish things that you want to accomplish, even simple things, and maybe some really extraordinary things. Um, you know, finding out that you have ADHD way later in life, and then ripple effects back into realizing that, oh man, so many things make sense now. We're kind of wrong. Can really then like put you in a state of confusion even more. Like, okay, now how do I address this? How do I get help? Where do I go? And it's usually other people that also have the diagnosis that are end up being really good resources or to try and help point you in the right direction. And not every doctor or every shrink is equipped to deal with people that have ADHD, because some don't even believe in it. If you can believe that, it's really crazy. It's like, well, my chemicals are doing this, my wiring is doing this, but yet you're saying you don't believe in it. Well, maybe I don't believe in you, and time to go find a different doctor. Acting like our plight is imaginary, like it's some kind of tooth fairy, like it's Santa Claus. Well, watch a mofo go from Santa Claus to Krampus, real quick, when you start denying, that I'm dealing with something. These are very sloppily because, like, again, I guess I'm just not gonna worry about it too much right now. It'll be interesting to look after I'm done with this to see if this patterning matches a lot of what happened over here, because I'm not actually looking at anything to source it. Just kind of going by feel and default. Maybe this is all I know at this point when it comes to tangling, and the other stuff takes more of a study for me to do repeatedly to get more used to it. So, oh, my eyes are getting so drowsy and heavy. I'm trying not to fall asleep on this thing right now. Okay, I will put a couple letters. Okay. Just realized I'm shaking. Dead air. That's why we need music. But I couldn't get that going, so today's the day that the music died. Now the theme song from X-Men is going in my head. But this just goes to show you can pretty much make anything into a pattern and do whatever you want. It doesn't have to be like an established one. You know, it's like whatever you're feeling at that point in time, do it. Okay, I gotta rest my hand because that's a problem with this left hand, heavy hand of Doom. It's always like, oh, so tense, so heavy, and gripping so tight that I wear I wear everything out, especially with all the other injuries that have happened lately. So we're gonna take a quick coffee break. By that, I'm gonna drink this cold coffee and just talk to you. That sucks. I hate when the coffee goes so cold, but then I can't handle hot coffee. It has to be like lukewarm for me. I just licked the cup. Sorry, on camera. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get an allergy pill because my eyes are really starting to blur and getting warm up the coffee. So 2 seconds. Feel free to talk in the comments. All right, I am back. Thank you for your patience. And wow, just looking at this after stepping away and coming back to this and realizing that a lot got done as I was just rambling away. So again, even more reason for me to do this platform, even if there's just one or zero viewers, because I have progress. I got something like started happening while I was just kind of like getting lost in conversation with myself, and just kind of like letting things go and doodle and all that. So I'm gonna make some more room for my coffee here because I don't have enough space. Is this thing still recording? Good. Okay. Oh, it's a little bitter now. It's not sweet, but I gotta learn to like that. Okay. Hey, Bob, because I think you're the only one that's watching right now, I'm gonna do some like Cosmo. If I can remember. How does Cosmo look? Oh crap. I was gonna try and do some Cosmo. It's no mouth, huh? Alright. I gotta do a better doodle. This is not doing Cosmo justice. Is there an antenna? I should have used a source. This is why you should prepare people. So somebody's backing something up, a truck or something. Yes, that my mind instantly went to that song. Is that Juvie? What do you think of backing up? What do you think about this little sexist club banger of the year? Provocative songs. Okay. I was mentioning Kirby earlier, and I don't know about you, but I love the Kirby Crackle. And it is actually, for me, it's a lot harder than it looks to do, because you're supposed to be doing these ellipses, but then blending them into one another, but also but leaving like offsetting white, well, dark and black, and then they're supposed to come together like a liquid mass in a way. It's very tricky. It's more trickier than it seems. I'm sure like more comic pros that have been doing this a long time probably have gotten it down to like nothing. They probably can do it without thinking about it. But for me, it's like okay, I remember it was like plumes of smoke, and then Art Adams will have his approach to doing the energy type of signatures because Art Adams does some beautiful rendering and hatching. And then like John Byrne will have more of a wavy thing happening with his what I like to think is a legacy of Kirby Crackle. And I'm not really well, a little bit of a comic art historian. I mean, I know some stuff. I've been around a little bit, you know. But that would be fun to explore. It is I would love to take or just jam and think about people with a bunch of other artist comic heads or even fans and think about okay, artist A, what is artist A's lineage, and then trace it ancestry wise, like creative ancestry wise, and aesthetic and approach to maybe a modern artist, from different eras. If you can take the golden age, the silver age, the bronze age, and then the modern age, and then the neo age that I'm calling, and say, okay, this gets you this gets you this, and then this splinters off to this splinters off to that. A chart like that would be friggin' awesome. I should probably put that in the kayfabe Facebook group and ask them. So and ask them who would they chart? Who would they and it would be meant to do this in fun, not to be like serious and angry about it. Like it's meant to be in fun to see the growth and maybe discover that what this person or Neil Adams, or S&P's created this effect. Why did he create this effect? Why did Colleen Duran do this in her approach with painting? And get better, Colleen. I know you're dealing with some stuff. And then find out, it's a discovery of technique, it's a discovery of history, it's a reason why they approach certain things and they are able to pull off effects. And then people that come after them maybe either try to emulate that or maybe it descends into something else or they pivot and then you get a Mike Mignola, somewhere. I mean that's That's kind of fun to me personally to explore. And if I was to teach like a comics art history type of class, that was the approach I would love to do. Is something that, like, that's within a technical, you know, essence, as opposed to just, this person created this character at this date. So yeah, let's explore the techniques and tools and explore the approaches and what they were trying to emulate, or what was reflective of the time frame that they did this in. Or maybe they only had these type of tools and this limited access to certain things, and that's why they did what they could with what they had. That to me would be some interesting comics history, and also be able to give newer creators maybe some um maybe some approaches to creating their craft in different ways, or reminiscing. You have people like Jose Ladron, who's got beautiful work, but you definitely can see the Kirby influence, for example, and all that. And as a person who really started really drawing comics specifically in the 90s, my influences were, when I came to drawing, the thing that was flashing to me was mostly the image artists and 90s X-Men type artists with a lot of heavy rendering and things of that nature. And I didn't appreciate Kirby and Big John as much until, as far as from a technique standpoint, until I got older and was really trying to study the medium. And then I realized that, oh wow, this is where it's at. um but I still love the rendering, the over rendering, and the grimace, has the grimace, as they say. I really enjoy that still. Let's do some vertical stuff now. Let's do those lines. Here's another little exercise you can do if you have problems with steady lines. As I've told you, I can't draw a straight line. Maybe you just take a small area, and just with your fingers and your wrists, you practice drawing straight lines. Well, not straight lines, but just vertical lines. Let's not call them straight lines, because I mean, maybe that's overrated. But just vertical lines, and who knows, you might get some interesting strokes out of it. And then later on, you would expand to a bigger area where you're using more of the elbow and keeping your arm straight, and then a bigger area where you're using your shoulder, to practice these lines, vertical and horizontal, and maybe diagonal. And then you're changing it from a pencil to an ink pen. Then you're going from an ink pen to a brush, etc., etc. And you're just changing mediums, changing the range of motion to see what you're able to get, and eventually what you're able to control. So I like the pattern of the bullet. This is like a bullet journal kind of deal. That's what the pattern is. The grid, it's dot grid is what they call it. And I kind of like that seeping through these lines. And right here, I feel like there needs to be more contrast compositionally. So I'm going to create heavy black, will be the intention right here. So that way it kind of helps frame and pop. And that way it kind of has a little bit of a balance. Like, I'm not going to say I'm using the golden ratio, because the golden ratio is very confusing to me. I know about it in principle, but in execution, it's so technical that my brain can't keep up with it. It's like too much math for me. So I have to kind of, like, it's same with the rule of thirds, right? I need someone to really dumb it down for me, or I need to be able to just kind of intuitively, like, hit upon it. But what I do know and do kind of understand is that an overall shape or overall arc or circulation of interesting things that keeps the eye flowing, that I can grasp. So while we have like this contrast right here, and I'm going to thicken this right here too, because that rock that I left earlier is going to get a different type of hatching. Okay, so now we have this, right? And then we have this wood frame with wood window. I wanted the wood window to be more lighter, not so dark. So what's going to happen here is that the outside rain, the inside of the window pane will be dark. We're going to make that dark, and that will be where the pop and the contrast comes. So I have a dark linear, like a line length of frame mechanism here. Then I have a dark interior piece, but we're still going dark, dark. And then right here, I have this wood panel that's going to be light to let the eyes rest a little bit. But maybe right here, I once again create the pattern. Like, and then right here, I would say this is pretty dark. And then underneath here, we could do a lot of heavy shadow. And then we'll do heavy shadow right here. So Now, I don't know if this completes the circle or helps us navigate the circle, but at the very least, I have the intention to try and do that. And if I don't quite succeed with it, that's okay. We're aware of it. Maybe we'll get it next time. Maybe we can sit there and still do what we do. And then in reflection and by analyzing it, not criticizing it, but analyzing it, then decide that, you know what, I could make some adjustments right here and pull off the intention and the effect that I'm trying to do with this application of theory. Speaking of which, I think on Thursdays it's supposed to be more like a theoretical Thursdays, but I think it's safe to say you're going to get a lot of art theory, design theory, and just attempts and approaches or exercises throughout every time I'm streaming because I can't help but talk about process and techniques because this is the art of discovering, and that's what I really enjoy about this. So, when all is said and done, I've got two sides filled up with imagery and stuff. It's busy, yeah, but I mean that's kind of what we were intending, right? We were making something busy, but while this is busy and chaotic, maybe internally, I'm actually pretty calm and actually really enjoy the process. And that's what today is about. Today is about being somewhat mindful, or maybe being mindless and just letting yourself just do whatever feels like instinctual or intuitive or not, or maybe you're not thinking about it. And whatever it is that you were dealing with on Sunday evening or Monday morning that was bugging you, maybe by the time you're done with doing a doodle like this, you have a little bit of room to breathe a little bit. Maybe I don't know. Let me know if that works for you because if that does, that'd be awesome. I know right now I kind of enjoy it. I'm getting a little bit of a joy just from having a little bit of a success of completing something. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect or technically sound right at this point. It just needs to be done or finished. And I'm like, hey, that's a win for me. Monday morning, you know, sorry, I'm on Monday mornings. I realize it's 2 o'clock and I have a doctor's appointment in an hour, a therapist appointment of nutrition and stuff like that. But we mostly talk about mindfulness and stuff like that. So it kind of works out that I keep my appointments on Monday for this. So that way I can go into the session and say, you know what? I got this done. I accomplished this. I ate some fruit so that way I could have some stamina for the live cast and all that. And so I'm making all these little micro changes and micro adjustments towards a healthier day and hopefully a healthier week, especially since I just ate a bunch of crap on the Comic Con weekend. That's the one thing I've got to figure out. I need like a kit that is just more healthier, energy giving, but healthier snacks and things to eat when I'm doing a Comic Con, especially if I'm traveling, because the first thing I want to go for is grease or carbs, you know what I mean? And then it's almost like I just completely messed up whatever I was trying to maintain during the work week. So somebody can probably make a really popular or helpful video. Actually, Kelsey, I'm going to talk to you straight to you. I'm going to say, Kelsey, and a few other people. I would love to try and get a think tank going about what could we eat. What's the good diet while you're at the con? So a little lifestyle advice and everything like that, though. So for people that are I might just, I'll do it. Forget it. I'll do the video. I'll just ask a bunch of other people and just poll the populace and we'll get something going like that. Okay. So, all right. We've got this done. I could choose to ink it right now, but as you can see, my hand's not really steady and I'm not feeling that right now. So we're going to move on to something else, but I feel good about this. Let's just go ahead and call this thing done for now. So how about this? We'll keep this as a bookmark. I'm not going to cover over all the artwork like I was doing because the stickiness is coming up off anyways. But in regards to my little doodle book here, these are the ADHD pages, right? Like that's how I can mark that. This was other stuff that I was doing during a 100-day doodle challenge. Of course, I didn't finish the 100-day doodle challenge. Have you met? Okay, but this was supposed to be YouTube type of stuff, though. This was actually turned into a print by the time I was done. This is me trying to figure out prices. I suck at finishing prices, and this is just a simple little dot grid book. That little retro. I've got more expensive planners. Don't get me wrong. Like I also have like some like beautiful texture type of stuff that I really like, and but then the fear of messing them up comes into play. and I have not really successfully done a bullet journal. Like every time I try to start one, I lose it, like in traffic even, or I misplace it, and by the time it lasts. So I'm kind of like not approaching these things as planners and bullet journals, but more as idea, doodle, and drawing books. Like I should probably write out some ideas of what I'm gonna do for these shows, and then I can just tear it out because it's perforated and go put it into my bigger book, for planning, YouTube content or various content and things of that nature. Though, that's what an organized person would do, I think. Year of the tiger. I'm year of the snake. So tiger versus snake. That might be a drawing we should do. Okay, okay, I got an idea. Maybe next Monday we will work on tiger versus snake, even though the year of the tiger is almost out, and we'll do like this epic drawing doodle thing for it. So that's an idea. I just hope I remember it by that time. See, again, I should write that down. But I should write that down. I keep saying that. But what I would like to do is probably like get a Pinterest board going and search images and references for tigers and snakes, and then really have like something I could queue up and look and just get some practice down and all that. And then and maybe we'll do that on workshop Mondays. Maybe we'll do the prep for that video on workshop Wednesdays, and then maybe we'll take it into fundamental Fridays as well. And then that way you can just kind of see like a whole progression of working up a concept and everything like that. I still have gnome anthology stuff to do, so I'll do that on Wednesdays as well. And then I still have character design stuff to do, and I also have a commission I have to finish. In fact, I'll show to you probably Wednesday the commission I'm working on, which is Pokemon based, which was actually really fun to do. I will feel breakthroughs with some markers and stuff like that. So I'm kind of digging that, and I kind of want to do a few more Pokemon things because my daughter loves Pokemon, and I'm like, you know what? Well, I don't want to rely on fan art to make my living or anything like that, or even to make business things happen. I still like to dip my toe in it and just enjoy it as a fan and enjoy the puzzle of creating that and maybe making it my own and bringing my own approach to it. So that's important to me. Is that if I'm gonna do fan art, I gotta kind of really make it. I gotta hunterize it. It can't just be like standard. So I mean, even if it has flaws with it. So okay, I don't know if that's spam or what. So answer ear splitting. Phil. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. So but I guess I'll look into it. Okay. Anyways, yeah, we're not done here. We got some time. So let's see what else we're working on. I put this bookmark in, and what does it do? It flies right the freak out of the page that I had bookmarked. What what's the purpose of that? A Okay. Put the doodle book away. We got a doodle done. Yay. Now, damn, I gotta quit shaking. Remember this? This is gonna be in my accordion zine. So what if we actually went and polished up the pencil and the lettering? Now, a smart person or more prepared person might go and look at different text examples and lettering to kind of figure this out. But I kind of did these just, off the cuff and from just whatever resources or default, was left in my body. And I want to kind of just continue that and build off of that. So when we do fundamental Fridays and theoretical Thursdays, that will be for refilling the tank with working on basics, fundamentals, and principles. So that way we can start to finally make those norm. And then what I do after that, when I work on something like this, I'm working with whatever residue was left over from those lessons or from of whatever stuck. And then eventually we refine, go back and do it again or do something different, and then eventually we just build our little lexicon and library of resources and knowledge and techniques and as we work with tools. So I'm going to angle this and make sure this is in the frame of my other thing. And this is supposed to be like aware, but I kind of wanted to make it creepy a little bit. So I think we're going to go a little bit EC comics. And you know what? The width is going to be a little bit messed up, and that's fine. Every time I like to sit there and say no straight lines, I'm reminded of a documentary from my friend and mentor Justin Hall, who had recently just released No Straight Lines, which is a documentary about LGBTQ plus queer people in the creative and comics community and their journeys and stuff like that. So if you get a chance to check that out, please do. Justin Hall is just awesome. I recently got to hang out with Justin and a few other California College of the Arts comics MFA program alumni and teachers, as well as seeing some guest speakers when I went to California a couple weeks ago, the Bay Area. I've been kind of starting to re-embrace the '90s aesthetic because I am '90s, right? I was not born in '90s, but that's where my formative teen years took place. Was in the grunge era, grunge years, and let's connect that. That could be cool. Yeah. All right. Let's connect that. Okay, so we have some connective stuff happening right here. I've got a pain in my foot, and it's my arches because I have no arches when my feet are down on the ground. And I'm not wearing these orthopedic shoes I'm supposed to wear. I wore some like flat, loose um, Skechers this weekend, and I think I'm paying for it now. I gotta find my tennis shoes and start wearing them even in the house. I don't like to wear shoes in the house. Like I don't know the Pinoy, the Filipino in me likes to go barefoot and stuff like that. So, not really a fan of wearing. And when I was in shape, I would also strip off my shirt and just walk around in like just black jeans. That was also like metalhead back then, and that's it. But now that the abs have gone away, I'm not going to subject people to that too much around here. All right, we have aware. Aware is done in the penciling stage. All right, I'm really actually digging it. So, uh, or you know what? Let's do this. Right, let's really lean into the to. There we go. Now, if I was just doing a lettering style, I would then add a 3D effect to it. But this is also supposed to be like I'm gonna doodle and tangle all around it. So if I do that, maybe what I'll do is add a halo around it as if it was a sticker. I don't know yet. Let me go ahead and do like a 3D effect, like a block lettering kind of deal, and see how I feel about that. And then maybe we'll still add the halo, but we're gonna go ahead and do an offset, picking our angle. So our angle for 3D is going to be coming from this angle. So we're going to attempt to do that. Now you might be used to right-handed people starting around here, but I'm left-handed, so I start from right here. And then yes, I do smear the page. So now I'll go over here. Again, I apologize for the heavy breathing. It just sucks when you're trying to breathe out here. Okay, I kind of dig that actually. There's a little bit of pop to it. I'm cool with that because I can play with the contrast and everything like that. Oops, forgot the A. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That'll give me it. I can play with the value changes right here, whether it be with this white on black, and then doodle around it. So I might make this bold, dark, what I'll probably do before I completely commit to ink on these is actually take a screenshot, or not screenshot, but photo of it, and be able to go ahead and take it into Procreate or another program so I can play with it and have some variants later on just to see how I feel about it, or just another exercise in doodling and coloring. Because I like to do a piece and make it stretch in as many tangents as possible to get my mileage out of it, and just to learn and all that. So, um, and then again, we have the nice little 3D effect, and then I can also create a halo around it if I want to. So what if I just did this? And it's just like a burst, an aggressive burst. And that kind of fits with this concept of sometimes we're dealing with ADHD, with this hyper focus, and we're just like aware, And even when we're like spiraling out of control, it seems, and we're really making a spectacle of ourselves in public, there's a part of us that is aware of what's happening and wishes we had control to shut up or calm down or to focus well enough to not be like, it just is really anxiety inducing, and you just feel like a freak and everything like that. And unfortunately, I think it has made people distance themselves from me when I guess the word, you don't want to use that word anymore, spaz anymore. I guess that's really not really considerate to people that deal with certain things. So let's say when I just wild out. Wild out is gonna be the phrase I use whenever I just need to wild out and I like bug out. So I feel like because like stuff is penning up and I'm like, I'm gonna pop and I need a wild out. So that's as best of an explanation I can come up with for right now. Okay, so aware is done. I'm actually happy with it. I'm moving on. So as you know, we have covered anxiety already, covered anxiety in the last doodle. We made 2 pages dedicated towards anxiety and 2 doodle pages, though. So what if I skipped out right now and go, and attention is a little too intimidating because it's supposed to be like kind of like a handwritten type or text style. I want to say graph. I don't like thinking of graffiti as illegal, or even though my son thinks it's illegal because he was told that. Graph and graffiti is an art form, and I really, really draw upon that when it comes to doing text and things and styles. So this graph is going to be something I'm going to hold off on because it is elegant, and I'm not really feeling elegant. Um, Angry, I'm not even angry right now, but but I do spend a lot of time in that state, especially in my past. Aggressive. Some would say I have an aggressive line, quality. Do I call it quality? I feel weird calling it quality. I feel more like I have an awkward line, awkward quality. That's probably more close to apprehensive, antagonistic, arresting, awful. So which one should I work with? Or should I just do one each time I'm on here? I don't know. Now it feels like it'd be not taking advantage of the time we have. Hmm. You notice how we're still focused on A? I haven't gotten to D yet. I actually had something queued up for D that I wanted to talk about, but I'm still trying to kind of focus on this thing with the attention. I need to drink this coffee before it gets cold again. So coffee break. What if I go ahead and do angry? Yeah, what if I just skip? We're just gonna skip. That way we kind of, because then by skipping over here, then we'll have a little bit of a contrast thing happening, and then I can maybe like help lock down my composition. The composition's probably already set in stone, but just with dealing with the values. Value to me is not just black and white. It's also within your line approach, within your choices that you make, and playing off with values or spotting blocks, as they say in the comic world. So again, the phrase you'll hear me say all the time is everything is storytelling. And so with that in mind, I'm going to go over here to angry and hope it's not in my other frame. Let's go ahead and put this in there. I'm filming on two different cameras for two different purposes. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and juxtapose angry. So instead of doing like an angry angular outline and shape to this lettering, we're actually going to go with a little more softness or more cloud brain fog type of thing that I tried to do in the other thing, but wasn't feeling it. Remember what I said about making mistakes that we can maybe look and analyze later on? Well, here's our chance. So I think I'm going to try and connect this one too, because I really enjoyed connecting them, because then it becomes one graphical image. And so this angriness could be like a brain fog or a cloud of confusion. Because I don't know about you, but whenever I'm really angry, like besides seeing red and besides feeling like all this crazy hypertension that happens in my eyes and fill up with tears, but also like I think because it fills up with tears, because my brain is so focused on that strong emotion that what do you call it? I just things cloud up. There's a lot of cloudiness and fog happening around when I'm in that state. So somebody's awake. I don't know who that was. Oh hi. Oh, so I'm talking about being angry, and what happens? My youngest comes over with a nutty butter to tease me. I was just talking about being on a diet and trying to be oh, hey Ben, what's up? How you doing? Ben is one of our leaders for the our upcoming gnome anthology and some other stuff. And Ben and I are a part of an announcement that's coming, I think, later this week. I gotta make sure I check that schedule. I'm pretty sure it's later this week. And if you haven't checked out CX3 on Instagram, there's a link to the Discord. It's an invite link. Please do check out CX3 on Instagram. Ben, if you have the link and you're free, feel free to throw that in the comment section. And stay tuned for that announcement that's happening later on this week. CX3 is on the precipice of doing some awesome things, and I feel really excited about what we have in store for everybody, for the community here in Columbus, and then by proxy, people in the region and just people online that are watching what we do. Okay, so yeah, check that out. But also, Ben, feel free to drop your links in your channel, whatever, in the comment section, if you want, if you're still listening. So, okay, so now we're going to go ahead and 3D this. So we have a big gap. We have a gap and an increasing gap, right? So what does that tell us? Besides the fact that I did this wrong. So how do we turn this into a plus? What if these gaps is a growth, like the expansion of being angry, and then what happens when you're angry? You're really tight and taut and condensed and just really stressed right here. But then as it goes on, it expands, and then you start to get exhausted. It starts to just like there starts to be more space in between things, and you might get exhausted, tired out because the adrenaline dump is over with, and maybe you feel a little embarrassed, or maybe you feel a little just defeated because something or someone got you to that state, or a set of circumstances got you there. And while that adrenaline dump is more like your fight or flight reflex working right there, it's not a healthy state to be in, especially for long. You know what I mean? So it doesn't feel good to have that feeling all the time. And I used to use this emotion as fuel, as a defensive mechanism, as a shell to try and beat back everything that was I felt attacking me or my circumstances when I was growing up and younger. And I used to use this to protect myself, because if I was angry and ready to fight, then what could hurt me, what could harm me, not realizing that this itself was also doing its harm, and it's exhausted. It was just an exhaustion on my soul and on my body. And now I've got health issues, years later, that are possibly related to being in the state constantly and trying to defend myself, emotionally. And then when you think about being angry too, if you had any type of like vices, like self-medicating or things of that nature, to it, all it does is double down on the things that will cause you more issues. So Wednesday we're gonna do definitely a hyper focus on the gnome type of stuff. If I get the layouts finished before Wednesday, then what we'll do is focus on the character design, and that will be really fun to workshop that. So Wednesdays are workshop Wednesdays, and we're going to make it mostly gnome related. And I might talk about a few other things because I did mention that we'll probably, work on some other things as well. But I hope to have a good 3 hour, 3 to 4 hour, you know, span on Wednesday. Today I have to cut it short and a half hour because I have to go to an appointment. But let's go ahead and finish up the angry at least, and then everything like that. So it was really fun though, just to speak a little bit about the gnome anthology, to watch the think tank happen where people were coming up with ideas and concepts for the title and the cover that Kelsey Crawford is doing. Um, and I'm excited. Like I barely weighed in because I just thought what was happening was just perfect and it was just fun to like. I normally like to really jump in on those kind of things and contribute to like trying to come up with clever names and puns and all that. But in this case, I was already getting ready for the convention for Gem City, and it was just fun to just to watch. Let's put an emoji right here. How about that? There we go. I'm gonna make a warp one. There. That's how we fill the space right there. Let's go with. There we go. A little ACDC. I wasn't supposed to tangle the space, but as you can see, I already started doing that. What else? What's a cuss word that What's the cuss word on thing? Forget it. We'll just do this, and then we'll just do this, and then we're gonna go ahead and halo around it. And we're gonna keep our cloudy line motif, if that's even the right word. Sometimes I just use words that don't really apply or shouldn't apply to it. I haven't worked on my vocabulary in quite some time. I used to be a fan of like an expansive vocabulary. It just doesn't seem like there's enough hours in the day, or at least not enough focus. All right, so we got our angry done, we got our aware done. So, um, but yeah, so thanks Ben for dropping in those links. We got links about the CX3 group. We have links about we got Ben's channel. Yeah, Ben's been doing this for quite some time, so I'm kind of like I'm still relatively neo and noob when it comes to this thing. And then we also got to talk about the gnome anthologies happening. So eventually, I will have Ben and maybe some other people on this channel talking about it once it's ready for the Kickstarter and things of that nature. And but and Ben, if you want more information, Ben will probably be talking about it at least on his channel. Ben, do you have a scheduled uh, broadcasting time, or do you just kind of do it when you can? So if you do, you can drop in the schedule when you do go live. If not, well, at least you got the link. People can find you. Oh, coffee's still warm. Okay, we're on a good note here. And if you notice, I'm also using the short names to do first. So I think awful is probably the next one I'll do, but I might save that for later on. So I wanted to get to a point where we're winding down here, and in order to do that, I don't want to start something else again. But then again, we got some time to talk. We got a half hour, good half hour. So I was talking about the bullet journaling and all that, right? About like how I'm not really good at doing bullet journals and how I would love to do it. But let's go ahead and take this out of the frame. And for editing's sake, to make it easier on me, let's go ahead and just maybe attempt to do a bullet journal. I gotta look up a template because I don't have a template on. I don't remember how. All right, y'all heard it here, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesdays. Oh, it's a game. It's a game stream and not an art most of the time. Cool. So if you need to just if you're a gamer and you're enthusiastic about gaming, you can go and relax and have fun with Ben on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. to watch their game stream. I might do a game stream eventually, but it'll probably be more of like a calming, mindful game streaming, like playing different games that are supposed to be like soothing, but it won't be on this channel. I'll make a sub channel to do that. Um, but I'm pretty awful at gaming, and my son likes to troll me and make fun of me. So maybe he'll join me, and you can basically watch a dad bod fail at gaming. So okay, so what did I say? How to art a bullet journal 2022 for beginners. Okay, and what I want is a blog to look at or something, an article, because I do a lot of I love watching bullet journal videos and YouTubers. I've got a lot of people I really enjoy watching on bullet journal, but then it becomes a deep dive to where I just want to sit there and watch and watch and watch and make playlists and all that. It becomes like this obsession. So I have to really like limit myself sometimes if I want to be productive. So one of my guilty pleasures is watching people on YouTube or on some type of platform create crafty and artistic type of work or series of things, and then just diving into it, in the whole atmosphere, and just embracing all these different aesthetics they're using and things that you may not think that I would like to do in my own work, but it's just like, how do I make that work for me? And that's again what I love about art and other mediums. Okay, so bullet journaling. Okay, so a bullet journal basically was created by Roger Carroll, who created a system on a notebook of taking notes and reminders and tasks, but using a really simple icons for keeping track of this and arrows and like an index to refer to it and write it down. And that way, he could keep it moving. So, but since then, or maybe even before then, people in the planning community have really like pushed this medium, this whole thing into its own beast. I mean, there's some really good type of designs and work that just happens that I just kind of like drop my jaw at. Some people that I like to watch as far as bullet journaling or just planning goes that really take it to like the artistry to another level would be Plant Based Bride, Jashi Karin or Jess. And eventually in the comment section when I re-edit these, I'll link all that stuff later on. And then other art YouTubers that I like to watch that are really knowledgeable on the business side of things would be Kelsey Rodriguez. That's one I've been hanging out with a lot lately. And then you have the other art YouTubers that have been doing this a long time that like to do 3 marker challenges and other type of mediums that I really like watching, like Hello Alice, as well as drawing with waffles and stuff like that. And then for the painters, the old painter, old school in me, 1000, another people, another stuff, Kipto, and I'm also like on the prowl for more black and brown artist creators that are doing stuff on Twitch and YouTube, because I think it's important that people from these communities, from other communities and marginalized groups, understand that they have outlets and have access to this technology right on their phone if they want to, that they can dive into and kind of like redirect their energies or attention, or if they're having certain issues, that they can maybe turn that into something that's positive and create um, uh, create and maybe express on a platform when they're ready. So, um, again, getting the word out on that. Eventually, as I learn this stuff, I would love to teach some workshop and classes, going into those neighborhoods and communities and being able to reach out to them and showing them how this works. Then, in some cases, some of them already know more and are way more tech savvy than I am and probably can show me stuff. So my son already knows how to edit stuff for his TikTok. I can't edit video, which is why I do live streams right now. So nothing wrong with the younger generations teaching me, new tricks, because I know that they know more than what um, appears to be happening. Yeah, my son trolls me on a daily basis, Ben. So him trolling me while I'm gaming would be nothing new. It'd just be so I might have to create an avatar for him because he's only 13, and I think the ages are something different. So you might have to wear a mask or something weird just to make sure that we're not violating anything. But he's the one that's been wanting to Twitch stream forever. And I just happen to be someone that wants to use it for art purposes though. But okay, cool. We got a link for more POC comics and everything like that. POC comics is definitely something that I'm a part of. I've contributed to a few anthologies, but also I do a lot of shows and workshops that are related to BIPOC groups, Black, Indigenous, Latinx, and others, people of color. So Oh man, coffee's almost going cold. I gotta finish it here. So, anyways, so will I do a bullet journal here? Will I eventually try to take on planning, or am I just basically trying to swim upstream because this isn't really my speed. This isn't really my jam in the sense that I just forget to take it, but I really love the format and I love drawing in these things. So I really enjoy drawing these things, and I really missed my first one of these, which was a hunter. I don't know if it's a hunter green color, but it was also like had the antler, the deer on it, and all that. But I also like this orange a lot, the ear of the tiger. This just says to me aesthetically, this is actually Dingbats is the company that produces these, and they're a little bit. While there might be pricier than your average basic one that you can get off of Amazon for a starter one, they are more socially conscious, I believe, and yeah, and they contribute profits to the World Wildlife Fund in the UK. So that's another reason why I like them. You can check them out here at this website, dingbats-notebooks.com. I'm not affiliated with them, not yet. I'd like to be, nor am I sponsored. So just be aware of that. But I enjoy the fact that they're more socially conscious and environmentally aware. And then they make these nice tactile things. And look, it has a little pouch in the back too that you can store things. And I've gotten this off of the Arc line. This was created off by this group on Etsy, and I got these here to try and measure things because I'm really bad at straight lines and measuring things. So, but I don't know what the first sketch is going to be in this book yet. I kind of wanted to write notes about the shows and how I want to do things, but also kind of want to just I don't know, draw something in this though. Do I do my tiger sketches in here, maybe? Tigers and snake sketches, and then we'll actually go to a bigger piece. Let me know. Let me know what you want to see if you're watching this. So, or we could just do a whole book of doodles again. But I already have a book for that, though, really, don't I? So, yeah, that's the problem with loving art tools and planning tools. You got so much stuff, and you're like, what do I do with it? So, I don't know. I will think of something. I will try and think of something. Maybe again for Workshop Wednesdays. Workshop Wednesdays is going to be a I'm going to try and partition out certain times of it within that programming to be able to have different things I focus on. So it'll be gnomes and anthologies, or then maybe it'll be some other stuff I'm working on. So you can get an idea of like the various projects that I'm working on, and then at least it gives me a chance to work on them and get 1% more towards finishing or progress on these projects. Now, there might be a day or two where I actually just focus the whole session, the whole 3 or whatever hour session on it. But for now, I just kind of want to, keep ahead of my attention span and be able to have a few things I can pivot to when I feel like I'm running out of gas on one thing. Then I still have this other thing I'm working on, and so that way, each inch by inch, each thing gets a little bit more along its way. So let's say that we're going to do some Year of the Tiger versus Year of the Snake concept on Workshop Wednesdays. We're going to do gnome anthology stuff on this Wednesday coming up. And then what was another thing that we talked about doing? I believe might have been something from the last broadcast that we had when it came to the doodles and working on digital products. So we'll take some basic shapes and turn those into some other aspects, some other things, and you can see what a basic shape what I can do with the basic shape and taking it to its final form and the variants that come with that. So that's 3 different projects we can work on Workshop Wednesdays, and you know what? I am also free to change my mind in the sense that if I feel like I'm vibing with one thing and we're getting a lot of good mileage out of it, then we'll probably stick with that. But I mean, at the very least, if I end up in a confused state before I sit down here on Wednesdays, I know there's at least 3 things that we can work on, and you're more than welcome to join me and, bust out whatever it is that you've been putting off and working on and work on alongside while I just ramble in your ear. It's not exactly ASMR, but it might be ASS, HAT. At least I know I can fill that obligation. All right, 15 minutes left. I'm going to call this at 3 o'clock. So I guess I could do an Ask Me Anything session. Mindful Mondays. Are you feeling this? I'm feeling it because it keeps me. It helps me get off on a good start of the week. So Eventually, if I can get therapy happening or the ADHD med stuff happening, I have my first appointment in August. I've been waiting a really long time to get help for this diagnosis. If there is therapy sessions and there's Zoom, I hope there's Zoom because I don't want to. I hate going to appointments and physically driving to stuff. Um, then maybe I can do my live streaming here, earlier in the morning, and then do my other coach, my nutrition coach, and then do the therapy, and that's like 4 things dedicated towards, like, working on my mental health and working on my diagnosis. So I think that would be really awesome to try and accomplish. And that would just line up with Monday being a few sessions of wins, like, 3 to 4 wins in a row. I mean, I might be able to go to bed at night and sleep better because I just had some successes that day. Even if I do nothing else. Now, I'd like to also incorporate chores around the house and stuff like that. Also, another thing I need to do is fix this workspace so where I'm not bumping into things and I have a little more room to breathe. So we will be, probably moving this thing that holds my phone for recording and taking that to another work session. I might hang up another gimbal or clamp here so that way the phone is still recording, but I have more room on the surface right here. So I know it looks a little cluttery. These work really well. These lights, I really like the aesthetics of fairy lights and the vintage and the organic because I wanted to work on a bunch of organic type of stuff, botanical type of stuff, and just be like in the mood and theme for it. But they really work better at night in the evening time, because then they really shine. Right now, I've got the daylight coming in. I've got all these other lights happening that are basically, it makes it worthless to turn these on because you can't really see them. So I will tinker with that too. Um, so Ben asked if I'm recording through my phone. No, I'm actually recording this with the webcam, and then I'm separately recording on my Apple phone so I can use that for B-roll footage and voiceover work for editing later on. So that way I know the quality is definitely up to par. So I'm not streaming through my phone right now. I did that the first time I streamed, and that was where you saw 3 cameras going at once. And I think the consensus was that was a little excessive. So now we're just sticking with the 2 camera shots right here for this live stream currently, and that is on my webcam, which is a Logitech Brio, very good webcam. So if you think the quality is good, that's it's because it's webcam, and then just the front camera on my laptop right here. So recording through my phone is just a regular recording that I just also hit. So I put it up next to this ring light and all that. So I will do a video on my setups, the various setups I have in my workspaces as I refine that. But I'm still trying to norm my setup and get it to where it works really well for me. And that way I don't waste a recording on recording something that I'm going to change 5 minutes later and end up not being something I like. So um, you can record on Twitch and live stream with your phone. It does work, but the options on a mobile device with those platforms are a little bit more limited, and the scope of view is a little bit more limited. So at least with live streaming through the computer, through the laptop, I can actually see what's happening more and check other things. Ben, while you're here, let me ask you a question. I wanted to try and share the link to this live stream on a few Discords, but I could not figure out what link I was supposed to do. Because last time I think I was sharing the invite link that would have people join the live stream like as if they were guests, and that's not what I'm trying to do right now. I'm just trying to get people to check out the broadcast in itself. So I couldn't find that when I was live streaming. When I was in the middle of this live stream on the Twitch thing. So yeah, that's one thing I need to figure out so I can maybe boost the signal and let other creators know I'm doing this. Once again, people are invited to just tune in and work on their stuff while I'm working on my thing. And eventually we will have guests and I will do some interviewing. So, oh, okay. So what I need to do is have a few links ready to go, just from the Twitch, I guess, because I thought if I did the StreamYard, they can tune into that. But yeah, so get the URL from Twitch, my Twitch channel, and maybe from my YouTube channel in order to let people tune in. Facebook automatically just throws the video up there, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, I think I'm going to sneeze. These allergies, Ohio pollen. Oh, wow. So anyways, I'm going to finish up this coffee here, get ready for my meeting, and then do some dishes. I might go live again, at the top of my UI. Okay, so all right, that's good to know. I will try to remember that next time. Um, there's also a process where you can live stream, and if you have the right equipment, you can literally switch cameras, angles, and stuff like that, as if it was a regular like live show and all that, in the midst of the live stream, so that way it cuts down on your editing later on. And I learned that from the Think Media team, which is a really good resource if you want to learn how to YouTube and stuff like that. So the influencer community in regards to YouTube and things of that nature is really helpful, really knowledgeable, and I know they get a lot of crap because people are like, what kind of value am I getting from this? The influencers, not everything is Kardashian. There's definitely a lot of value if you're looking for certain things to improve your skill sets, or if there's certain niches that you are in and you want to improve that or bring those quality as well as those techniques to what you do. Take the knowledge, take the information, and take the tools and apply it to your paradigm. It doesn't have to be something that you're trying to mimic necessarily. It doesn't also have to be a negative thing. If somebody's literally showing you like how to improve, something that you could do, I say that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing, even if it is complicated. And definitely, I'm definitely a slow learner, and I have to rewind and pause things, so I get the uphill battle of trying to acquire new skill sets and knowledge. I struggle with it, probably more than a lot of other people. But once I'm able to try and practice it a few times, then I start talking about it, verbalizing it, actualizing it. It starts to get a little bit more cemented in my brain. So that's how I have to learn, is kinesthetically as well as visually, because if you're audio wise, I tune out too much. So, but this coffee's getting cold, and I need to keep going with it. Oh man. Okay. Probably need to eat food. I think I'm gonna try and make a healthy choice and eat oatmeal after this. But damn, if I don't want some tacos, I want some tacos really bad. I think I gotta have tacos at least once a week. But if I had to eat junk food, tacos are healthy, right? It's corn instead of flour. I'm supposed to stay away from flour, anything that's white, because of the pre-diabetes. But in April, my wife made a homemade General Tso's chicken and fried rice last night, as well as like the store pre-made lumpias. Her lumpia is way better, so definitely would rather go with her lumpia and pot stickers. Um, but what was funny is that I didn't realize it till afterwards, but April went and made the General Tso's chicken out of dino nuggets. It actually didn't taste that bad, but it was just like, I was like, what are we doing here? And it was pretty funny though. So I didn't take a photo of it because then that'd be like one of those obnoxious foodies. But yeah, I'm just kidding. But I just thought it was really funny that General Tso's dino nuggets. So that was really clever, So but yeah, it had the whole seasoning. It was spicy as hell and everything too. That was pretty funny. So I ate it. So I'm trying to just do one. If I have to do one bad meal, it's only one bad meal a day, as opposed to like five bad meals and snacks like all day long, 7 days a week. So we'll see. I am thinking about launching another YouTube channel where it's just a dad bod blog or something vlog. I don't know, Dad Bod Chronicles, based off of one of my comics. So where I just kind of chart my progress and trying to get healthy and do something about my health and my body. But so the so Ben, to answer your question, as far as specific foods are not allowed in the diet, it's because of the pre-diabetes. So basically, anything that's like white or sugar and starchy, you technically would want to stay away from, because it's gonna mess with your blood sugar. So it's not so much as a diet as much as it's a life change, to try and help get the weight off and everything like that. Especially anything with refined sugar is what you in theory want to stay away from. So like I switched my white rice to brown rice because I'm part Asian, so I gotta have my rice right. My whole family is about that. And so the kids just think the brown rice is fried rice, so it works out, so they don't complain too much. Um, rather than eating a bunch of candy and stuff, switch to fruit. Maybe even though fruit can get away from me as well. And then as far as like, I don't eat white bread anyways. I rarely eat white bread. Even growing up, I mostly like wheat. Um, so what I do now is have more of a whole grain wheat, and so I probably will actually cheat a little bit and eat a peanut butter and jelly on that whole grain, as opposed to like bread that has more refined stuff in it. And then let's see what else. Like, unfortunately, my mom's no longer around, but my mom used to make, instead of mashed potatoes, even her regular mashed potatoes were delicious because she'd leave the skins in and throw a ranch packet in, and it would be nice and tangy, in the point where I didn't even need gravy to eat those mashed potatoes. It was delicious. But when it came to more healthy choices, my mom learned how to make cauliflower mashed potatoes, and the way she would make those mashed potatoes with the cauliflower, it was seamless. It tasted so good. So if you were diabetic, you could actually eat these mashed potatoes because they were made out of cauliflower. Um, I don't know if I'll ever be able to get that again. At least not, I mean, obviously not from my mom. And I don't know if April's interested in learning how to make that, or if I ever decide to learn how to cook or something like that, maybe I can make that and then be able to enjoy that as my quote unquote starch. But yeah, little choices. I got to make these little micro changes so that way I can start getting better. There's a lot I want to accomplish in this life, and right now, as I get older and I slow down, and all these other illnesses that are taking root with the fibromyalgia, the prediabetes, and the ADHD thing stuff is I need to keep the long game in mind, and I also want to be here for my children and my family, and I don't want to like kick off too early. Even when things get dark, I don't want to bail out, and I don't want the choice taken away from me to still be here. So in that regard, I have to start making better, smaller choices about what I'm doing and everything. And it is very difficult for me because I am a creature of impulse. So if I want something, I just want it, and I'm going to go try and get it. Sometimes that's a good thing as far as my persistence, because that means like when I want a goal, even if it takes me a while, I still am tenacious enough to eventually get that goal. Just with a lot of obstacles in the way. But also, it's like again the gift and the curse. But sometimes that impulse to go and grab something that's not so good for me, definitely gets the better of me more often than not. So, but cool. Maybe, yeah, definitely pass along those recipes, the cauliflower recipes. Now this is the cooking channel. I'm kidding, but anyways, we're cooking with ideas. We're cooking with dedication to trying to get things improved in our art and our day to day. And again, I am no health expert. I am no expert in general. I am just a person who's discovering these limitations I have, and how do I navigate around them to try and achieve and accomplish things that I want to accomplish. So if you fall into this category, feel free to join me on Mondays, or Wednesdays or Fridays or whatever I'm doing stuff, and work on your own thing. I find that, in fact, Ben is a very good example of somebody that I would kind of like use a body double with. I jump into a Discord chat or a live session with Ben and a few other creators, and all of a sudden I'd get some stuff done. And it's like, wow, time passed. I got some things accomplished, and it didn't feel like I was completely isolated. So, wow, I think I just got spam. There's some like porn thing happening in my chat thingy. Don't click on those links. I That's so new. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe now is a good time to end this broadcast because it is 3 o'clock. I do have to get ready for a meeting, and I'm getting spammed by some BS here. So I have to figure out what that is about. I don't know. Can you block them? I'm putting you in timeout. No, I'm blocking you actually. Yeah, I'm blocking you. Okay. I just used a new thing. Cool. Okay. So yeah, what I did was put him in timeout. Oh, I only blocked him for a few minutes. So nope, I put him in timeout for 5 minutes. I should have blocked him. That was my bad. So okay, that's good to know. But dang it, spamming my channel with some naked stuff and all that. Get out of here. If I'm not getting any, no one else is getting any either. So sorry, TMI. But yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm out. Thanks for joining, Ben. later. Wednesdays, workshop Wednesdays.